with head coach Dane Pedersen of the JMU Swimming and Diving team. Coach, it's the week of your first competition, getting the season started. What is the mentality of the Dukes this week as they kind of gear up to kick off the 2014-15 season?
Yeah, definitely excited. We've been training now for 7 weeks, and we haven't had any competition. So like you said, this is our first competition. So I think the girls are just excited to swim and dive, and actually swim and dive against other people than themselves. They've been practicing and competing with each other in practice every day, but now it's nice to finally have an arena where we can swim not just one team, but a plethora of teams. So it'll be a great opportunity just to race a lot of different events and be able to dive our 1 meter and 3 meter for the first time. So it's a good meet to start. It's a good starting point for us, but I think as far as the mentality of the team, I think they're just anxious and ready. And, they're not that they're tired of training, but they're ready to compete. I think they're ready to be on deck as a team for the first time and just finally get on the road and just finally compete for the first time this season.
Speaking of getting on the road, you're headed down to Christiansburg on Saturday for the Virginia Tech Challenge. You're going to face some pretty solid competition in the Hokies, Penn State, Liberty, and ODU. What are you kind of expecting from your team this weekend?
Mainly just to race. With that many teams all competing at the same time, even though it's going to be scored separately as different dual meets, we're all in the water, we're all on the boards all at the same time. So you can't really pinpoint one team or the other. I think the main message, like I said, since it is our first time to compete, is just to do that, is just to compete. Practice racing. This is our first opportunity to show kind of what we can do racing-wise. So I think that will kind of be the mentality, as opposed to, okay, we've got a really close meet with this team or this team. It's just really going to be, it doesn't matter who you're swimming next to, what cap they're wearing or what suit they're wearing, what team they're from or what they're representing. Just take the advantage of being able to compete against a lot of great competition across the pool or on the boards. I think it's going to be a very deep and very talented meet, and I think that's an advantage for us as far as to be able to really step up to our full potential and race or dive to the best of our ability. So it's definitely exciting to have that kind of talent on the pool deck, but I think it'll be fun to just kind of mix it up and just see where we land.
You've stressed coming into this season that the Dukes are one team as opposed to a swimming team and a diving team. How important is it to have that kind of team-first mentality from top to bottom, both for the conference meet at the end of the season and throughout the year?
Definitely. I think it's a process. Becoming a team is something that we focus on. It's something that we work just as hard on as we do in the water on the boards in practice. So it's an aspect and a dynamic that we want to uphold and be a very close-knit group team. So this is, along with our first time to compete, it's also our first time to practice being a team on a deck with other teams. So this is kind of the starting point in a way as far as being a team on deck, but it's also a process that started a long time ago when we first arrived here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how our team and our leaders and everybody just kind of works together and supports each other, cheers, how we progress through the meet as being one team, especially with you've got so many things going on. You've got diving is going to be running. It's going to start a little earlier than the swimming, and then it'll be running concurrently with swimming. So there's going to be a lot of moving pieces, and it's really easy to kind of get broken apart and kind of just start to focus on your event or what you're doing. So I think it'll be a good challenge for our girls to be aware of each other and practice being a team. And any kind of work that they do now as a team on deck is only going to aid them at the end when we get to our championship meet.
The Dukes have finished in the top 2 at the CAA championships each of the last 4 seasons. How much does that level of kind of tradition and pride motivate the team moving into this year?
I think it's a motivating factor, but I think more so it's just we want to focus on us. We want to do the best job that we can do, kind of focusing on who we are and what we want to do, and then kind of let the results fall where they may. There is pride there, but it's not necessarily about an end place, whether it's first or second or top 3 or whatever it is. It's just more about a pride of representing JMU athletics, and then our swimming and diving family. So there is a pride and a sense of pride there, but it's how we do things, and then we feel that if we take care of everything, kind of focus on the process, focus on being that close team that you were talking about and asked me about earlier, and building on that, then the results will take care of themselves.
Speaking of those results, JMU's had NCAA qualifiers each of the last 2 years. Who should we be kind of keeping an eye out for this season who has a shot at keeping that streak going?
Well, we definitely NCAA's is a place where we want to make a bigger footprint. So it actually got started 3 years ago with our first diver to ever qualify. She was the first athlete from the swimming and diving program to qualify. And then we had 2 swimmers concurrently qualify after that. So it's not only a trend that we want to keep going, but it's also a trend that we want to expand on. You know, instead of just getting 1 athlete, can we get multiple athletes there, or even qualify a relay, which is very challenging. So I think that's kind of what we're looking to do. So, you know, Sinhei has been there before. So I think that it's definitely a goal of hers, especially her senior year. But we definitely have some divers who can make it, you know, who are focusing in on that. And I don't want to limit anybody by picking out 1 or 2, so I'll try not to cop out of that answer. But, you know, you never know. You never know who might surprise you, you know. So I think instead of limiting whom it may be, I'm just looking to hopefully definitely have JMU represented there, but more than anything, have us represented as a team, which for now will start as more than 1. And if we can get swimmers and divers there, I think it would be a great way to represent our university and our athletic program at our highest level on the collegiate level.